Just take your time, Mrs Henshaw. Okay, next.
No, it wasn't him. Although he does look a bit of a rascal. I think he wore a funny sort of hat.
Right, next. Okay, next.
Achoo!
Okay, next.
This one here. A right wrong 'un. Look at his eyes. Too close together. He's obviously hiding something. Look at the state of his clothes. He's probably a tramp or a drunk or something. He probably stole my purse so he could get money to buy a drink. The demon drink. I know his sort, Detective. Disreputable rogues who charm their way through life. Well, not on this occasion. The law will be upheld for once. Your lot are too lenient.
Thank you, Mrs Henshaw. We'll take it from here.
Hanging's too good for 'em. This sort of vagrant are a social menace. We should have 'em all shot like vermin.
Now, Mrs Henshaw.
Don't you now me. I'm a pillar of this community. My Gerald and I put a lot into this little town, and the least we can expect is some sort of service and a little bit of respect. This is not the sort of place where you get your handbag pinched.
Yes, Mrs Henshaw, I completely understand.
Could I have my belongings back now, please?
Certainly. I'll see if the Chief Inspector has finished. Perhaps you could wait for me in reception? I'll just be a moment. Hello, Sergeant. We're finished here. Thank you. You wanted to see me, sir?
Ah, Nicholas, yes, yes I did. How's the family?
Well, the wife is expecting our second child, sir, so we're watching every penny. You know how it is.
Of course, of course. And how's the investigation, this purse snatching business straightened out?
Mrs Henshaw has made a positive identification and we're holding him for questioning.
Who was the offender?
An old man, sir. Funny, he doesn't really strike me as the type. He comes across as more the eccentric gentleman, all dressed up in his frock coat. Well, it's settled.
What's his name?
Calls himself Smith, sir, but I believe it to be an alias. We're still questioning him.
Has anyone come forward on his behalf?
Not so far as I know, sir.
Good work, Blackwood. This paperweight. Unusual design, wouldn't you say?
I don't know, I suppose.
How did she come by, do you know?
The local pawnbrokers, I believe.
Pawnbrokers? Curious. Extraordinary the way it catches the light, don't you think?
Yes, sir, yes, quite. I was hoping to return Mrs Henshaw's belongings and her purse to her.
Oh, of course, Detective, of course.
I'll let her know.
What do you think, eh? Not too shabby?
Very smart, sir, very smart. For the super's dinner, I guess. Be quite the occasion.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much, Detective. I'll say you get commended for this.
Really, Mrs Henshaw, it's all part of the job. Mind how you go now.
Detective Blackwood?
Yes?
Detective Nicholas Blackwood?
Yes? How can I help you, Miss...
I'm looking for my uncle. A tall, wiry man with silver hair.
Ah, yes.
I need to see him.
That might be a bit difficult, I'm afraid.
It's urgent.
What's your name?
Chastity.
Very well, it's been held in here. You have a visitor.
What is it? What have you done?
I didn't mean to. Honestly, I didn't. There was a man said he knew you was a friend. He said he met you before in Mauritanius. He took the T.R.O.N.I.X and is planning something terrible.
Mauritanius? He took the T.R.O.N.I.X? Where? When?
Just now. I don't know when, but it's still input on the time console. We must stop him, Uncle.
This is most serious. Detective, you must let me go immediately. The fate of all we know is at hand.
That's very funny, but it's going to take more than a tall tale to... Look, why don't you just run along? Your uncle and I have a few things to discuss.
You don't believe me, do you? How can we convince you?
Detective Blackwood, isn't it?
Yes?
If what my niece tells me is true, and I have no reason to doubt her, we haven't a second to lose.
I'm not about to let either of you out of my sight.
Well, come with us.
Indeed. You never know. You may be of some use.
Where are we going?
To the alley.
Quickly, to the T.R.O.N.I.X.
Looks like rain. Better bring your umbrella, Detective.
Detective Blackwood? Just what is going on? This man should be in jail. What are you doing? Come on, explain yourself, young man.
Well, he's still under police custody, Mrs Henshaw. Don't fret. We're just going to...
Retrieve some evidence. I know what you're thinking.
It's warmer on the inside.
Yes, and the fact that the ship's virtually infinite in size. We call it the T.R.O.N.I.X. Temporal Reconnaissance Observational Nanotron Interface, marked T.R.O.N.I.X in Roman numerals.
I must be dreaming. I thought we just stepped into a fridge. Perhaps it's something I ate. Most peculiar.
We must leave immediately. Prepare yourselves.
Find something to hold on to. I like the outfit, Uncle. Is it fancy dress? Oh. Who are you? Are you a friend of my uncle's?
Yes, your uncle and I are very great friends. We've known each other for a very long time.
I'm Chastity.
They call me the Celestial Umpire.
It sounds kind of familiar. I can't quite place it.
Has your uncle never mentioned me?
Probably, but it's hard to keep up sometimes. There's only so much I can remember in one go.
He doesn't change, does he?
Not one bit. Is he not around?
No, he sent a message for me to come to him. That's where we're going.
Oh. Are you a quantum guardian?
No.
I thought only quantum guardians could pilot the T.R.O.N.I.X. That's what my uncle says.
Yes, he says a very great deal, doesn't he? But he doesn't know everything, and he's not always right.
How did you say you knew him?
He once took from me something of very great value. I'm merely seeking to return the favour.
Well, I'm sure he'd give it back if you just asked him.
Oh, I'm afraid that would be impossible.
So, what do you have in mind?
It's a surprise, Chastity. But I'm sure you will soon discover what it is, and I've no doubt it'll be a moment you won't forget.
My uncle doesn't like surprises.
No, I'm sure he doesn't. And how about you, Chastity? Do you like surprises?
Depends.
We've arrived.
Is this the surprise? I thought it'd be more impressive.
Ah, wait and see.
Where did you get that?
I've been rather, fortunate. Come now, I'm going to need your assistance. There is no time to lose. Find the optical routers. There is something we need to connect up to the quantum drive.
This should be in the usual place. Storage unit 12. What are we connecting up?
You'll see.
What is it?
The end, my dear. Surprise. You're just in time to witness the end.
Why is he doing this?
Because of me.
Tell them the tragedy of Mauritania's keeper.
It was a long time ago. We were so excited to discover a world, a fledgling scientific world. We hoped would become an ally. They kept their darker agenda hidden. I was part of a scientific liaison team, nurturing, mentoring them, nudging them along in the right direction.
We were your science project.
No! No, it was never meant to be like that. I was so thrilled to exchange learning. I perhaps said too much too often. I didn't know, but they'd accessed and copied the recordings from the T.R.O.N.I.X memory archive. They were able to replay, rewatch, work out, fill in the gaps. No wonder we were surprised by the leaps and bounds your world had made.
But the big stuff you kept to yourself. No quantum power for us.
You were not ready.
Who dictates terms on who is ready? Who decided you were ready?
You should never have been given those secrets.
And who gave us those secrets?
I realized with horror their true motivations and tried to make amends for our mistaken virtues. You were not ready for such power. Your world was too irresponsible. I had to fix my mistake as best I could. That is why we cannot share our technology. It's too dangerous in the wrong hands.
I bounced around the universe trying to track you down. I'd almost given up hope of ever finding you again. I've been marooned on this miserable planet for too long. We've only just split the atom, for goodness sake. We're so technologically backward, it's amazing you've even invented fire.
They're good people. This is between you and I. There's no need to bring them into it.
Oh, yes, there is. Since your own world will not have you, this is as close as you'll ever get to a home. A home no more, twinned with my world.
He's using the monument as a quantum beam amplifier.
But he's the chief inspector.
An alias, I'm afraid.
He calls himself the Celestial Umpire.
Where did you come from?
From the T.R.O.N.I.X.
But
Yeah, I've been here already, but there was two of me before.
You two look remarkably alike. Are you sisters?
It is me, Mrs Henshaw. I've just caught up with my past self. Hello!
back to the impending doom for a moment. So he's not the chief inspector, but an alien from another planet?
His position on Mauritanius was chief of a weapons program, much like the Manhattan Project of your Second World War, and was charged with the defense of his planetary system. He devised molecular weaponry which decimated the enemies of Mauritanius's rulers. Once he was a man of science, but he became known as the Destroyer of Worlds.
I acted under orders, unlike you, and you have the gall to call me the Destroyer of Worlds? You call this man your uncle, but do you really know him? Do you really know what deeds he has done, what blood is on his hands?
I thought the facility was cleared. I had no way of knowing.
My wife and children were sheltering in a reinforced safety chamber. One's whole world wiped from existence.
I'm sorry.
You'll be more than sorry. Watch the final moments of life on Earth and all that lives upon it. A world for a world.
Quickly, to the T.R.O.N.I.X.
What is that thing?
He's using a quantum decelerator.
Quantum what?
Please don't interrupt. There are two types of quantum agitator. The quantum accelerator, which allows atoms to travel at unimaginable speed. It's what makes time travel possible, partly. I tried explaining it to Albert, but he wouldn't have it.
Uncle.
The other, the quantum decelerator, slows atoms, even to a complete stop. No movement, no agitation, no life, nothing. Death, ceasing to be. Do you recall I told you he was an inventor of weapons?
Yes.
I intervened to prevent such a weapon being used on his home world, and only just in time. The device was constructed, evidently completed, but there was no power source powerful enough to power such a device. They'd come about as far as you can come without harnessing quantum power. They were on the verge of developing quantum energy. I stopped them just in time. It would appear that such a device was produced on a smaller scale. Instead of wiping out a whole solar system, I'd say such a device would merely erase, or at the very least, kill all the atoms on a single world. It's remained useless until now. Now that he has the quantum drive connected, he can reverse engineer the quantum energy into his quantum decelerator and, projecting the resulting beam through the monument, reach the atmosphere at sufficient altitude to create a chain reaction, rendering all matter on Earth inert. And it's all my fault.
What can we do?
I think you may be the solutions, my dears. You being here is causing a paradox. Things are not behaving as normally as they might.
Could we use the T.R.O.N.I.X? Fly into its path?
I daren't risk the quantum energy within the T.R.O.N.I.X itself being channeled into the beam. It could wipe out half the universe, or tear a hole in space-time.
Is there no way of interrupting the signal then?
Possibly. By focusing the signal from the quantum accelerator within the T.R.O.N.I.X, it just might be possible to counteract the quantum decelerator signal. Quickly!
The interstellar multitool. Think of it as a galactic Swiss Army knife.
I'll have to get myself one of those.
I was worried about that.
About what?
We've used up most of the T.R.O.N.I.X's reserves. We're running dangerously low. I only hope the quantum accelerator will still function.
What about the other T.R.O.N.I.X?
It's drained virtually more than this one has. This one has had time to recharge itself. I'm sending you both back with Detective Blackwood and Mrs Henshaw. I can't afford for anything to happen to you.
Let me come with you.
Don't argue.
Wait. You'll need this. It was all I could think of to stop the T.R.O.N.I.X from flying off. I know the T.R.O.N.I.X will work without one sphere, but two?
You'll have to pilot the T.R.O.N.I.X between you. It should follow the homing signal back to the starting point. I shall be right behind you in the other T.R.O.N.I.X. Now just flick this switch.
You're leaving? Those girls are driving this thing. Are they competent? I don't think this is very wise at all. She's a schoolgirl. They're both schoolgirls.
Yes. And she's never piloted all by herself before.
Doesn't this affect the space-time continuum or something?
Probably. But it might just iron out all the kinks we've caused. There's very little reason to worry. If anything should happen, I'm sure that you'll more than likely be separated out into your individual atoms and obliterated. Now don't worry, I'm sure it's mostly painless.
Charming.
Very bad, very, very bad.
Oi! You blading hooligan! Give me my bag back!
Oh, you're welcome to this now. It's harmless. All the power has been drained from it. It's as useless as a paperweight.
No, you keep it. I think I've changed my mind. I think what my husband would really like is a new tie.
But what about the charges against the keeper? Mrs Henshaw?
No, I don't think that'll be necessary now. I just need a good night's sleep. I think that blue Leicester was off. Yeah, that's what it must be, too much cheese. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be getting off home.
Hello? Sorry, no, he's not here. This is Detective Blackwood. What's that, sir? Promoted? To Chief Inspector? Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll not let you down.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's all been very strange. For an odd day.
The wheels of fate, my young man. And remember the responsibilities which accompany such a position, and how your predecessor did not.
Well, what about the Chief Inspector? The Celestial Umpire?
Who can say? Perhaps we shall meet again. I have a feeling this matter is not settled. And now, my niece and I shall be getting along.
Oh, thank you, Keeper. Thank you. I shan't forget you. Either of you.
Good luck, Chief Inspector Blackwood. One thing that puzzles me.
And what might that be?
How did the quantum sphere get to the pawnbrokers in the first place?
I really couldn't say.
Why is Winston Churchill looking at us?
I don't know.